Deuteronomy chapter 32. Take heed, O heaven, and I will speak, and hear, O earth, the discourses from out of my mouth. Expect my maxims as rain, and let my discourses go down as dew, as a heavy shower upon wild grass, and as snowflakes upon grass. For I called the name of the Lord. Give greatness to our God. God, his works are true, and all his ways are equity. God is trustworthy, and there is not an injustice in him. Just and sacred is the Lord. They sinned. They are not his children. One scoffing, a crooked generation, and one turning aside. Do you recompense these things to the Lord thus, O people, moronish and not wise? Did he not, this your father, acquire you, and make you, and shape you? Remember the days of the eon. Perceive indeed the years of the generations of generations. Ask your father, and he will announce to you. Your elders, and they shall speak to you. When the highest divided nations into parts, and he disseminated the sons of Adam, he set the borders of nations according to the number of the angels of God. And his people Jacob became a portion for the Lord. Israel is a piece of measured out land, of his inheritance. He sufficed him in a wilderness land, in thirst of sweltering heat, in a waterless land. He encircled him, and corrected him, and guarded him as a pupil of an eye, as an eagle sheltering his nest. He longs after and over his young. Thrusting out his wings, he receives them, and takes them upon his upper back. The Lord alone led them, and there was not with them an alien God. He brought them unto the strength of the land. He fed them produce of fields. They nursed honey from out of the rock, and olive oil from out of the solid rock. Butter of oxen, and milk of sheep, with fat of lambs and rams, offspring of bulls and he-goats, with fat of kidneys of wheat. And they drank wine, the blood of the grape. And Jacob ate and was filled up, even the one being loved, kicked up. He was fattened, he was thickened, he was widened, and he abandoned God, the one making him, and he left from God his deliverer. They provoked me over alien ones. In their abominations they greatly embittered me. They sacrificed to demons, and not to God, to gods in whom they knew not. New and newly made gods have come, in whom their fathers knew not. God, the one creating you, you abandoned, and you forgot God, the one maintaining you. And the Lord beheld and was jealous, and he was provoked to anger by their sons and daughters. And he said, I will turn away my face from them, and I will show what will be to them at the last times. For it is a generation being distorted, sons in whom there is not belief in them. They provoked me to jealousy over that which is not God. They provoked me to anger with their idols. And I will provoke them to jealousy over that not a nation, by a senseless nation I will provoke them to anger. For a fire burns away from out of my rage. It shall be burned unto lower Hades. It shall devour the land and its produce. It shall blaze on the foundations of mountains. I bring together to them bad things, and by my arrows I will finish with them, melting them away in hunger, and being food of fowls, and affected incurable. The teeth of wild beasts I will send as a successor to them, with rage dragging them upon the ground. From outside the sword shall make them childless, and from out of the inner chambers fear. The young man with the virgin, the one nursing being placed with the old man. I said, I will disperse them, and I will cause their memorial to cease from among men. If not on account of the anger of the enemies, that in no way should they live a long time, and that in no way their opponents join in making an attack, lest they should say, Our high hand, and not the Lord, did all these things. For it is a nation destroying counsel, and there is not higher knowledge in them. They did not think to perceive. Let them appreciate in the coming time. How shall one pursue thousands, and two rout 10,000s, unless God rendered them up, and the Lord delivered them up? For their gods are not as our God, but our enemies are unthinking. For of the grapevine of Sodom is their grapevine, and their small vine branch is from out of Gomorrah. Their grape is the grape of bile, their cluster is bitterness to them. The rage of dragons is their wine, even the incurable rage of asps. Behold, are not these things brought together by me, and to set seal among my treasures? In the day of punishment I shall recompense, in a time whenever their foot should trip, for the day of their destruction is near, and at hand prepared for you. For the Lord judges his people, and over his bondmen he shall be comforted. For he beheld their being disabled, and failing in the hostile invasion, and were weakened. And the Lord said, Where are their gods upon whom they yielded upon them, of whom the fat of their sacrifices you ate, and drank the wine of their libations? Let them rise up and help you, and be your shelterer. Behold, behold that I am, and there is not a God besides me. I shall kill, and I shall make to live. I shall strike, and I will heal. And there is not one who shall rescue from out of my hands. For I shall lift my hand into the heaven, and I shall swear by an oath by my right hand, and I will say, I live into the eon. For I will sharpen my sword as lightning, and my hand will hold to equity, and I will recompense punishment against the nations, and against the ones detesting me I will recompense. I shall intoxicate my arrows of blood, and my sword shall eat meats from the blood of the slain, and from the captivity of the heads of the rulers of the enemies. Be glad, O heavens, together with him, and do obeisance to him, all angels of God. Be glad, O nations, with his people, and grow in strength in him, all, O sons of God. For the blood of his sons he shall avenge, and he shall avenge and recompense punishment to the enemies. And to the ones detesting him he will recompense, and the Lord shall clear out the land for his people. And Moses wrote this ode in that day, and he taught it to the sons of Israel. And Moses approached and spoke all the words of this law into the ears of the people, he and Joshua the son of Nun. And Moses completed speaking these words to all Israel, and he said to them, You take heed in your heart over all these words which I testify to you today, which you shall charge to your sons to guard and to do all the words of this law. For this is not an empty word for you, for this is your life. And because of this word, you shall prolong your days upon the land into which you pass over the Jordan there to inherit it. And the Lord spoke to Moses in this day, saying, Ascend into the mountain Abarim, this mountain Nebo, which is in the land of Moab, against the face of Jericho. And behold the land of Canaan, which I give to the sons of Israel for a possession. And come to an end in the mountain into which you ascend there, and be added to your people, in which manner Aaron your brother died in Hor the mountain, and was added to his people. For you resisted persuasion to my word among the sons of Israel, at the water of dispute, Kadesh, in the wilderness of Zin. For you did not sanctify me among the sons of Israel. For you shall see the land before you, and you shall not enter there into the land which I give to the sons of Israel.